Welcome back, guys. Today I finally feel like myself again, and on a day like that, Bitcoin is also moving to the upside. So what could be better than talk about Bitcoin and also some altcoins that are moving today? If you want to make an insane amount of money with me and my community together, as we did here recently, as you can see here already, then you should definitely stick around here because I have new trade setups and I also going to talk about what I believe is going to happen next. If that is something for you, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and also activate the bell that you will never miss out on these really important and money-making videos. And now let me show you what I found today. So first of all, I want to show you something really interesting here, and that is that we finally got our breakout out of this sideways movement here in that range since we printed $1 billion of Tether. Remember what I told you? I told you that every time when Tether is printing, that at some point the Bitcoin price is catching up to it with a breakout to the upside. And that is exactly what we got here yesterday and also so far for today with this continuation candle here to the upside. Why did we need such a long sideways consolidation phase before we actually broke to the upside? That is really simple to answer, and that was grayscale outflow. Now the outflow is off balanced with the inflow from other spot Bitcoin ETF companies like BlackRock, Fidelity, and so on and so on. So there's more Bitcoin being bought through these spot ETFs than what Grayscale is selling. Hence, why Grayscale's selling has no effect, no real effect on the Bitcoin price anymore for the time being. And it was also boring the market and getting priced in and kind of normalized. So therefore, it was just a question of time when we are getting this breakout to the upside here for Bitcoin. But of course, you want to know what's going to happen next, and I'm going to show it to you right now here. So remember, yesterday we spoke about this inwards and head and shoulders pattern, and that I would be waiting for a break here on the daily, at least for a swing trade, for a break of that horizontal level of $43,800. And if you want to play it really, really safe, also for a break of that upward sloping trend line, which was or still is around $44,400 sitting here right now. As long as we are staying above that level, even if we retest it, I expect continuation in direction of $50,000, and that is also in alignment with the technical target of that inverse head and shoulders pattern. So if I measure it, and let's say that the neckline is over here, and you see the technical target is a little bit higher than the prior high that we have here at $49,351. So it's not a lot more. It's like $250-ish. But we would create a higher high on a really high time frame, which would be amazing to get this. Not only from a market structure perspective, but also price-wise, that we basically scratching at $50,000 going into the halving. And that is also one of the reasons why I believe that 50K and potentially a little bit higher could be on the table right now, because we are only 64 days away from the Bitcoin halving right now. And every Bitcoin halving, we start to rally into the halving. So there is a big possibility that this rally is about to start here right now. When we are going, however, here in the 4-hourly time frame, then you see here this symmetrical triangle has broken out yesterday. It was kind of at the, remember what I told you guys, I said the best moment for breakout would be kind of like here in between this window. So we just moved into that window and broke out. As long as we are moving at least to $45,000 here into our first take profit point, I doubt that we're going to see something like this rolling over, coming back and breaking down. But I want to see $45,000, what is it, $545 to be touched to, basically get that confirmation. It would be highly unlikely that we're touching it and then here doing something like this. It's just from my experience, highly unlikely that we're going to see this once we are here around the $46,000 level. So for the time being, if you're in this trade, everything is fine. You are in nice profits already. The only thing what I would do is I would raise my stop loss, and I'm going to show you where I would place it if you're in this trade here. And we have so many more trades that are playing out here for us right now that I gave you guys recently. So definitely make sure you're sticking around. So I would set my stop loss just slightly above the entry to make sure that you get out either break even or with a really tiny profit. So just to protect your capital. Now, that new stop loss level is at $43,560. Okay, I would actually put it a little bit higher than this because the entry is already here. Let me see, where was the entry? Oh no, actually it's fine. 43,370 was the entry. And then here, the stop loss 43,560. So it's $190 of a move here that we are in profit with that stop loss. That's absolutely fine. So move your stop loss to 43,560 just in case if it turns against us before we hit the first take profit point that you get stopped out here in a slight profit. I still believe that it's highly likely that we go all the way up here to $47,000, just like I said, based on the daily time frame. If we continue to stay around these levels, then we're going to see continuation here to the upside into potentially $48,000, $49,000. But we're going to reevaluate the situation once we have hit here our first take profit point. From there onwards, I will have a look again and let you guys know how likely it is at that moment in time that we are going to 48 and beyond. Now here on this 1 hourly chart, also here, this old trade setup that I gave you, we have finally managed to close that trade here also in a nice profit. That was 4.414%. So congratulations if you took this trade here with me together. Also here, the previous one obviously closed here in nice profits. Every time you see here, perfect execution on our end. We never came close to our stop losses here in both scenarios, and also here on the daily it looks like that we potentially see here continuation. If we go into a lower time frame, we can see a little bit better, but this looks like that we are potentially bull flagging here. So it would be a really tiny bull flag, but still it's nothing what I haven't seen in the past. Then this here might be, it is a risky one, but would be the next one here to $46,083 with the entry being where the price action is right now, $44,730. So if you want to take that trade while you are watching this video and we are still around the same price level, it's not higher than, let's say, 44,800, 44,950. If we are not at these price levels yet, you can consider to enter this and put your stop loss around $44,600. So a really, really tight one, just to make sure if we're turning around here for whatever reason that you are getting stopped out in a really, really small loss. Here to the upside, potential profit 3%, roughly 25x leverage, 75% on that specific trade. Then here on this 4 hourly chart, also here, the scalp trade that I had again mentioned yesterday, we have hit here the target perfectly. And now we are also seeing here continuation to the upside. Really important for me was that we are flipping $44,500. That was another entry point that I had also given you guys. And here this resistance area finally flipped into support for the time being. If we get a retest, a proper retest, we're going to see if it's holding. But for the time being, this is the next support level to watch. And I'm sure if I go through some other charts, we get some alignment around these levels. Guys, as you can see, we are highly profitable here over the last 2 weeks or so. So definitely make sure if you don't have yet a BYBIT account to sign up here, you still get $30,000 if you use my specific link. That's also where I'm trading. Also on BitGet. On both platforms, you can potentially get a debit card. So definitely make use of that. It's amazing to spend your profits with a crypto debit card without any questions from your bank. What are you doing? Why? For what you're using your money, and so on and so on. And also, if you are too scared to trade by yourself, then just go to CoinW or to FAIRDESK and just copy trade while I'm trading there. You'll find all the links in the pinned comment below and in the description of this video. So now when we're going to the 4 hour liquidation levels, we see that we have liquidated here a little bit of not really over leveraged shorts, I would say. So, but some mid-sized leveraged positions. And it looks like that we still want to continue higher here. So we have now flipped, or we are breaking above the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level here of $44,646. I would like to see that we are really getting here at least. So here is this a line that I have drawn in the past? There is just 50x long short liquidations are here at 46,120. So I would at least expect that we're going to touch that level. The only question is, are we going to get a rejection from there then, or will we just continue to move higher from there and also liquidate 100x leverage positions at $47,240? I will go in the order book in a second to have also a look how we are looking there and with support and resistance, but for the time being, here based on the liquidations, I believe that there's definitely more room here to the upside. But remember, guys, I told you, even if we get that move to the upside, I still expect a flush to like $42,000 at some point to liquidate all the over-leveraged long positions that are right now in massive profits. So you see here we have taken out $43,600, exactly as I told you guys yesterday, and that we are most likely breaking above that. And you see here around $46,500 there, it's kind of stopping. Maybe on a monthly we get a little bit more. Yeah, so I think here $48,000, 48,300 might be where we're going to stop going up for a little bit and have to reevaluate what's actually happening. If we consolidate, if we get a bigger retracement again, and so on and so on. The same what happened here. So we just have to be a little bit patient, but it doesn't mean that we cannot trade in the meantime with Bitcoin and also in altcoins that I'm going to show you also here in a moment. So here is big resistance where we are sitting at right now. So but Bitcoin tries to move here higher. $44,860 is the upper end of that. Then here's a little bit at 44,900 and then a big resistance at 45. I believe if we break 45, we might see another short squeeze to the upside with a move here to $47,000, $48,000 as I just mentioned. And you see here above that, there is not, I think, a lot. So and here support $42,800, $42,400 based on the order book here. So for now, it looks like that we have blue skies for Bitcoin, at least if we can break $45,000 and go then basically there are blue skies until $47,000 based on the order book. Now, here on the daily chart, also exactly what I wanted to see, that we are moving away from the EMA ribbon. Remember, I said this yesterday, I want to see the price action moving away from the EMA ribbon. This is exactly what is playing out here right now. That means the EMA ribbon, if we are closing the daily candle as it is or even higher, will start expanding again. And that will also give Bitcoin more support around $43,200, $300 approximately. And of course, the 50 moving average here on the daily also will, if we get a retest at some point, act as support for us. Here on the MACD also we see continuation happening. Again, I mentioned it yesterday, I wanted to see that. Here the stochastic is again in oversold conditions at the top, but here on the RSI we still have more room to go to the upside. The RSI is super bullish here, around 63.5% right now. So based on the daily chart, again, I still believe that we will come for this vector candle to fill it, to balance out the chart. And for that, we have to go at least to like $49,000. I want to talk about altcoins because I know a lot of you guys asked me if we can talk about altcoins. So here the Bitcoin dominance is of course pumping right now because Bitcoin is going up. But I believe that we are going to see a halt to that around 53% unless Bitcoin decides to pump like in one 4-hourly candle to like $48,000. Otherwise, I see a rejection coming in the next 2-3 days potentially and a rollover. And then a lot of altcoins will start outperforming Bitcoin again to the upside. Worst case scenario, we come again back up here to this downward sloping trend line that is over and over acting as a resistance. And that would bring us to like 53.86% more or less here on the Bitcoin dominance chart before we see then a retracement. So, but yeah, for the time being, I'm watching 53%. If we are starting to correct from there down, that's where you want to get a lot of altcoin exposure, because I believe that we go then here at least to like 51-ish percent, and yeah, a 2% move on the Bitcoin dominance to the downside is usually always really, really good trading wise for us. The total market cap also does exactly what we were expecting since we spoke the last time about it, and that is that the altcoin season area is acting as support after the consolidation. So I can also make this now finally green. If we can close this weekly candle as it is right now, then we're definitely going to get to 1.8, potentially even $2 trillion, potentially even by the end of the month, early March, in my opinion. Again, it is coinciding with the upcoming halving and also the Ethereum spot ETF approval approximately in May, which is just a month after the halving. So it makes a lot of sense that we see here continuation with all the confluence given around these days. So that when we're looking at Ethereum, if we are still in this ABC correction, we are well on the way up here into the golden ratio. If you are looking for a trade on Ethereum, wait for the daily candle to close and that we are staying around the price where we are right now. So you want to see Ethereum closing above $2,420 approximately. So and that will be again a scalp trade. So you make everything really tight. See here, only 0.64% of a stop loss and 4.31% potential profit. So that's a 6.75 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Yeah, so 4.3%, 25x leverage, potentially over 100% in profit. If it goes against you, you potentially lose 20% on that specific trade. So, but yeah, that is what I'm looking at for Ethereum right now. I might break it down into smaller timeframes to find a better entry for myself. If you want to understand how I'm doing that, then you should also go to amcrypto.us and buy my course to understand how you can find best entries and don't want to wait for a daily close, because what sometimes can happen is that the next daily candle opens and it just is blasting directly for the sky and you had no chance of an entry. That's why I like to look on lower time frames sometimes to see some confluence for a good entry and can basically front run this trade here before the new daily candle actually is opening. But again, guys, when we're getting up here, we need to be careful. If we see a rejection happening, a severe one, then we should be prepared that we are still continuing this ABC correction. For the time being, I'm a little bit on the fence, but leaning a little bit more to the bullish side, that we are going for an invalidation of that ABC correction and just keep pumping to the upside because of the spot Ethereum ETF approval coming up. Now let's talk about some altcoin trades that we can play here. One of them is INJ, so I'm looking at INJ here. I want to see a 4-hourly close above the Monday high here, which is around $33.61. My stop loss is at $32.60, I think. Yeah. And then take profit point is at $40. So why $40? Because if I draw here a horizontal line at $40, so you see here, there's a lot of confluence here, resistance. So then flip-flopping, support, support, resistance, 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 resistance. Here support, resistance, flip-flopping, fake out, resistance. So there is a high chance that this level will be acting now as a magnet to retest it, and hence why I have my take profit point there. So it is a huge profit here, 18.94%. You don't need a lot of leverage for this trade. If you use 7-8%, you look at a 100% return on this trade. So and yeah, maximum a little bit less than 20% on a stop loss if that trade goes against us. So, but I think it is a good risk reward ratio for us for that specific trade here. You can also have other take profit points in between, just to make sure that you are walking away with some profit. So you can have one here at 35.65, for example, because there are also some wicks to the upside. And you could have a second one here around 37.45, and then the last one at $40, and then you just take at every take profit point like 30%, and then here on $40 to take the last 40%, which gives you then 100% of a closed position. You made sure that you walk on every single step on the way up to $40 away with some profit, and of course trail up your stop loss. Then the next trade is AVAX. AVAX here with the VPVR, the volume profile. If we can flip here also, again, Monday high is sitting at $35.89. If we can flip this with a 4-hourly close, then I would potentially enter this 13% of a profit. Why only 13%? Because here is a lot of historical trade, so there's historical trade price action with a lot of volume there, so that could give us a little bit of a problem to break straight through it, hence why I would take profits here around $40.52. Also here, if I draw here a line around this level, you see that here this top section was a deviation before we went here down again. So, and it makes it highly likely that we are going to retest this. And here on the 12-hourly chart, you see here's on the stochastic RSI also so much more room here to go higher before we are topping out. So, it's a high probability trade here for me if we are getting above Monday high. So, and the stop loss is at $35.95. Another one that I'm looking at is DYDX. Here also, if we close 4-hourly candle above the daily open, and we are sitting there more or less around right now, that is at $2.86.4. There would be my entry. Take profit $3.62. That is almost that's 26.54% of a profit here. Also take along the way some profits. I would take the first one around $3, then $3.23.24, and the last one and here at $3.62. So why I'm really bullish here on DYDX right now, because we had here this downward sloping trend line that we have finally broken and retested here, and now see finally some continuation here to the upside. So you see here this high point was created in November, so for over 3 months of a downtrend before we broke that. So that is quite significant, hence why I believe that we could see here a big move for DYDX over the next coming days. So I want to have a look here quick on a daily, how much. Okay, stochastic RSI is telling a different story, but I believe that we are going to get this move if we can manage to break here above basically $3. I believe that we are over the next 2 weeks then actually hitting $3.62. And the last one is Lido, LDO. Here also I want to see that we are staying above the daily open and the Monday high, which is the same price right now, $2.89. So if you see a 4-hourly candle closing above that level, that's your entry. Here roughly 12% of a profit to the upside, $3.24 is here the take profit point. Also here we finally broke from January, almost a month ago, this downward sloping resistance line finally, and getting right now a retest. If that retest is successful, then we should get a bounce here back to the upside above $3 and basically profit off that trade setup. So now the stop loss is sitting here at $2.82, also really tight. So here you see that is roughly a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, and everything above 2.3 to 1 risk to reward ratio is always worth taking, in my opinion. So I gave you here a lot of trade setups, guys. Like I said, I believe that we have some really good days here coming for us. So let's get to it and make some money here once again. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which trades of the ones that I've given you you will be actually taken. And if you have taken these trades later, let me know in the comments how much profit you actually made on them. I'm really curious and would like to know your profitability, because it gives me some feedback on how accurate I am, besides I'm tracking everything, and how profitable our community is as a whole. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I will be even fitter tomorrow.